a dead end!
You hear that sound? What is that?
Whoa! Those look like turrets on their backs!
I think they want us to ride them. They can sense we're here to help.
Yeah!
My sentiments exact.
Hello Autobots and Decepticons, my name is Soulmonger and I'd like to welcome you guys back to Transformers War for Cybertron campaign. And in this episode we will be talking about Generation 1 Ironhide. And if you guys don't know how this works, I basically take the character that I am playing as, or I may not be playing as him, but in this episode I am playing as Ironhide, and I will be talking about his Generation 1 history from the cartoon, and I will not be talking about anything else unless I mention it during the commentary. So I hope you guys enjoy Ironhide. There is a lot of history on him. He is pretty much in like every Transformers cartoon episode, so he is an important part of the Transformers generation.
Megatron has an entire army down here!
It makes sense for Megatron to have the core so heavily protected. It's his most valuable asset.
And he also had an important role in a lot of episodes, and we will cover as much as I can. It will be virtually impossible for me to cover everything about him, so I may miss some important parts, so I apologize for that ahead of time. So without further ado, when are we going to start busting Deceptichops? G1 Ironhide. Ironhide is basically like Old Faithful out there. You can always rely on him. He is battle tested and he is always down to fight for the Autobots' cause. He's one of the oldest and he is one of the toughest Autobots out there, and you can always find him next to Optimus Prime. So Ironhide in the Generation 1 cartoon, not the coolest car transformation in the world, but when he comes into robot mode, he has some pretty awesome weapons. And speaking of weapons, he is the type of person to shoot first and ask questions later. He is very optimistic and upbeat, and he is a rough soldier and is ready to bust some Deceptichops, and that is a direct quote from him. And since he is so strong and he has a lot of courage, sometimes this gets him into trouble, but his Autobots are always usually there to back him up, but not all the time. And one of his big weapons that he has, which is a surprise actually to me when I was reading about it, I don't remember it a lot, but he has a water gun, and this obviously shoots a liquid of any sort. So he usually uses liquid nitrogen, that is his favorite, but he is also known to use acids, mortars, and other things. And along with that, sometimes his vehicle mode does split into a separate component. And since he is always next to Optimus and a big part in the cartoon, he also shares something very important with Optimus, and that is his voice. He is also voiced by Peter Cullen, who is an awesome voice actor. So he is a big role in the Generation cartoon, Peter Cullen that is, for both Optimus and Ironhide. So there is a lot of information on Ironhide, like I was saying before. So I'm going to jump right into some history, and I'm just going to talk about some stuff that I thought really made him stand out in Generation 1, because like I said, I cannot cover it all. There are pages and pages on him, sort of like Optimus Prime, because he was pretty much in everything. So Ironhide was part of the famous shuttle to Earth that happened 4 million years ago, and I'm not going to get into that because that seems to come up in every episode. So after he was revived, he took part in the Sherman Dam incident where there was a tidal wave, and with the help of Bumblebee, he used his built-in laser cannon in van mode to cut like a line in the ground so that the water didn't flood the city. And so early on, Ironhide left his mark on Earth and helped save lots of lives. So a couple episodes later, he actually used himself as Autobot shield and took a shot from Megatron that was meant for Optimus. So he is going to do it all, anything to save the leader. He is very faithful.
positions. Where are you?
I have no clue where I am.
I don't see either of you, or the slug I was riding.
We need to regroup. Move forward and stay in contact.
That'll hold me for a while.
Ironhide, I can see you from my platform.
Optimus, there's a release gate blocking the way.
Hold on. I see a switch that might help.
Optimus, I've got the drop on a squad of Decepticons. I'm gonna take him out!
Wait, no! Why does he always do that?
I've encountered another threat. Nearby.
And then he was on the rescue mission for Spike for the space bridge that I talked about, I believe, in Bumblebee's episode. And actually, Soundwave, he started popping out the cassettes, but Ironhide did something that we hardly ever see. He ran and stopped Soundwave from popping out any more cassettes by grabbing his arm and keeping him from pushing the eject button. So those two were in a fight, and he actually helped turn the tides by not letting any of his cassettes come out. And that's kind of an interesting part, because we will see that Ironhide and Soundwave do a lot of battle in Generation 1. I kind of feel like they were the nemesis. It was kind of like Optimus versus Megatron and Ironhide versus Soundwave a lot of the time. And while Optimus was scouting out for the Decepticon space bridge, the Autobots received reports of this Decepticon attack on the power plant. So Ironhide led the squad with Prime, but they were too late, and Optimus suffered a lot of damage from battling 4 Decepticons to try to keep humans safe at the same time. So I can just picture Optimus getting up and saying, "What did I say? I said we all fight together," and that's how it should have ended. So Optimus suffered this serious damage from that, and Wheeljack and Ratchet, being the medics, they checked him out, and they determined that he needed a new Cosmotron from Cybertron to survive, and no one really knows what this Cosmotron is. It just is very crucial to all the Transformers' survival. So then Ironhide was a leader in a team to recover the missing part, and he did a good job because we still have Optimus today. And on this mission, he also got to test out his quick freeze on Starscream. So Starscream seems to be the one victim again. He always seems to get the short end of the stick. And in this episode, Ironhide uses this crazy like scanner, which I've never seen before. So it's an episode worth checking out. So throughout Generation 1, Ironhide does his fair share of saving people. He does just as good as a job as Ratchet, who is a medic, but Ironhide seems to do it in more dramatic fashion, and he is very selfless, as he will put himself in danger first in order to save someone else. And not only is Ironhide a good savior, he is a bot of many talents. Further down the road, when the Decepticons were in New York, they actually caught Optimus Prime and disassembled his parts all over the city, and Ironhide found his gun arm on top of the Empire State Building. So then Ironhide used his grappling hook that came out of his arm, displaying another one of his many talents, so that Prime and Ratchet could scale the outside of the building to retrieve Optimus's arm. But they ran into some trouble when Devastator was there, and he swatted at Ironhide and Ratchet, and so the two took the opportunity to shoot the floor beneath Megatron and Soundwave. But when Optimus and Devastator fell from the sky to the ground, Ironhide once again saved Prime from hitting the ground. So Ironhide, pretty much Optimus's guardian angel at this point. So a little bit further down, I thought it was kind of funny that Ironhide wasn't really paying attention in this one episode, and Soundwave and Ravage both hid inside him, and he didn't even realize this was happening until Blaster and Ravage started fighting in his back end. So moving down the timeline even some more, Ironhide was part of the group of Autobots that went after Omega Supreme after they learned that Megatron was trying to create the Stunticons. But when Megatron failed, the Autobots and Ironhide decided to create a counter for the Decepticons by creating a team of Autobot jets that we all know today as the Aerial Bots. and they used the power of Vector Sigma. And so after creating these aerial bots, they didn't really get along with Ironhide. And after the Autobots made the aerial bots didn't really understand what they stood for and didn't really get along with Ironhide, but they soon learned their place and then made peace with Ironhide, especially Slingshot. But after this cutscene, we'll talk about how smart the aerial bots are.
You all right, Optimus?
These are sacred grounds, Ironhide. The core provides Energon and life to all of Cybertron. It pains me to see it defiled this way.
In the next episode, the aerial bots seem to not learn their lesson quickly, and Ironhide was then in another argument with the aerial bots because the aerial bots wanted to be able to fly like the Decepticons, but then again the aerial bots learned their lessons, and then Ironhide, showing his willingness to get along with everybody and give someone a second chance, gave them peace again. So that's kind of Ironhide in a nutshell. I probably could have covered more, but that's all I wrote down for my notes, and there was a lot on him. And look at Optimus just go. Where were you, Ironhide? You're supposed to save him. Come on, Ironhide. You're better than that. You saved him so many times and then you fail.
By the way, Optimus, it's nice to see you step up and be the leader I always knew you could be. What took so long?
No, but I was just kidding there. Ironhide, he is a great soldier. You definitely do not want to mess with Ironhide. He will do anything to win, and he puts himself above his own personal gain. So Ironhide, a great soldier, and I don't think he's a huge fan favorite out there, but he definitely does what it takes to get the job done. He is Old Faithful, and you do not want to mess with Old Faithful because he is very, very wise and he knows what is going on. I remember in one episode he actually had to get one of his processors replaced because he was extremely old and he just needed a new one. But I'm going to jump ahead here in a second. Let's talk about him in the movie, the cartoon movie that is, and he didn't have a long appearance in this movie.
I can feel the raw energy from here.
Ugh. Dark Energon is everywhere.
Don't waste any more time. We need to destroy the corruption and...
Look out! It's that thing that's been following us.
It's feeding off the core's dark energon. Autobots, take it out.
Stay away from those spikes. Blast your way through. My shots are just bouncing off him! How is that possible? This isn't working! We need to find a weak point!
Its armor is too thick.
So in the movie, Ironhide was stationed on Moonbase 1, and he was part of the Autobots' ongoing mission to retake Cybertron. But a series of unfortunate events happened to Ironhide in this movie, and I will never forget this part in any Transformers movie, or any movie forever, I would say. Just, it was a dramatic thing that happened. I did not expect to see it. I remember when I first saw this movie, I've never seen the Autobots or the Decepticons destroy each other, especially with such ruthlessness before, until the movie happened. And I will forever remember Prowl's face, but that is for a different time. So Ironhide, along with Ratchet and Prowl and some other Autobots, were on their way back to Earth because the Autobots desperately needed supplies for their Earth base. And on their way back, the Decepticons decided that they would sneak into Earth by using their Autobots' own ship. So they blasted a hole into this ship, and Megatron, along with Starscream and the Constructicons, laid waste to every Autobot on this ship, and it looked like it was easy. They caught him off guard, shot him in the back. The Autobots had no chance. And Ironhide, he was definitely the toughest one. He was shot multiple times before he was going down. And even at the end, with no power, he tried to stop Megatron, but Megatron was not hearing that. And the last you see of Ironhide is basically Megatron's fusion cannon just blasting into his face and leaving him with 2 words: heroic nonsense. But as we all know, Megatron couldn't be more wrong. Ironhide truly was a hero of fellow Autobots and humans. He sacrificed his life a lot more than any other Autobot in all the cartoons, and he deserves the title of a hero. His remains were then sent to the Autobot Mausoleum, but then later on, as we all know, in Dark Awakening, the Quintessons actually sent these remains into a red sun. So that was the last we have seen from Ironhide. And Ironhide, probably one of the bravest soldiers of the Autobots out there. He does what it takes, anything for the greater good of either mankind or robotkind, and a true follower of the Autobots and everything they stand for. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, Generation 1 Ironhide, and next we will have some high flyers. I know you guys are excited for that, and I actually really enjoy their mission. I'm excited to bring those to you, and then after that we will battle the end boss of Transformers War for Cybertron. So remember to leave a comment, leave a rating, and subscribe for more Transformers. Have a great day, everyone.
Optimus Prime, you have delivered me from the foul influence of Dark Energon, but I am afraid my spark is corrupted.
You're too late.
I can survive if I shut down my systems completely, but the process will take millions of years, during which Cybertron will be left cold and barren.
We must leave our home if we are to survive.
The line of crimes has failed, yet hope still remains. I offer a portion of my spark to take with you to the stars. For as long as it survives, so shall I. Will you accept this responsibility, Optimus Prime?
I will.
Behold, the matrix of leadership. Cybertron recognizes and welcomes Optimus Prime, keeper of the matrix, leader of the free Autobots.
Oh.